Welcome everyone. I'm a little bit early. Thank goodness for that. Hope everyone is doing well. Thank you for sharing. Boy, y'all are right on the money, aren't you? We have a fun evening. Hello from Idaho. All I can say is it's been cold here in Florida, and I know that y'all don't want to hear this because you guys have worse weather than we do, but I'm telling you what, 50 and 40 degrees is cold, and I have a sweatshirt on. That's how cold I am. So we're just gonna thank you for sharing. I appreciate that, and we'll just sit here and wait a few minutes because I am early. It's 4 minutes till, so that will give everybody hopefully time to get on and get settled, and then we'll get started. I'm going to show you the new mask. I'm sure you've probably seen some cards with them, and if you haven't purchased them, it's something you're probably going to want to buy. So I am sitting here putting dimensionals on some tags that I had punched out. Only had to punch out. Well, I didn't do. Yeah, I did actually. I did 100 of them. But anyway, so I'm gonna take this time while we're sitting here and put some dimensionals on the back. I'm gonna do this later this evening when I'm watching TV, so I can finish up this card order that I have, and hopefully I'll have it done by tomorrow and get it out in the mail by Friday. Winter is winter. It has its low temps. Yeah. Well, you guys that like the cold weather, you know, I'm from Virginia, which from the Virginia Beach area, and I like warm weather. So this 40 and 50. The other morning I got up, it was 35, and I thought I was going to croak. So I'm pulling out all of the winter coats and gloves and hats. I have them out in the garage waiting. Hi, Debbie Cox. How are you? So, anyways, we managed. I just ordered the dog a new coat. She's had a coat. I guess it's 9 years. We've had her going on 10 years, and the Velcro that connects the neck together is starting to come unsewed. And I could probably sew it or tack it up or whatever myself, but I decided it was time that she get a new coat. So Riley's getting a new coat, but you know what's really weird? She had surgery a couple weeks ago on her leg, and we went last Friday and got the stitches out. And I don't know, this is just a really weird thing. Let me stop putting my dimensionals on here so I can talk to y'all. I swear to God, it seems, I told my husband, I said, it seems like once she had the surgery and came home, she can't hear us anymore. I mean, she literally will be sleeping under my work table behind me, and usually when he comes in, she'll hear the garage door pop open. She doesn't even hear that anymore. So poor little thing, I don't think she can hear, but I think it's just I'm sure it's old age, but it's just a coincidence that it started after she had the surgery. So she when we got her, they told us she was 6 years old. Took her to the vet, and the vet looked at her teeth and said she can't be any older than 2. So we figured she's 2. So now she's 12-ish. We've had her, it'll be 10 years. Well, we've had her 9.5 years. So anyways, isn't that crazy? I said, man, I wish I could lose like 4 years of my age. Wouldn't that be nice to go backwards instead of forwards? But it's okay. So I hope everyone's doing well. We're going to do some fun, some masking and some blending. Not with our makeup, but we're going to use our blending brushes. Coming in from Melbourne. Next week we're in the Keys. Oh, final destination till April. We're going to be in the Keys in the month of March for 2 weeks. So who am I talking to? Coming in from Melbourne. Hi. So whoever made that comment that's going to be in the Keys in April, give me your name, please. We're going to be there the 2nd and 3rd week of March in our motorhome, and we stay on Stock Island in a resort. Well, it's a camping RV, a little bit of everything. Boyd's Campground, and we really like it because it's we can ride our bikes. Hi, Faye. We can ride our bikes from the we have e-bikes, so we can. It takes us like 15 minutes to get in town, you know, into Key West downtown. So we'll ride our bikes, but the nice thing is because we're seniors, I take advantage of that every minute I can. We get to ride the bus that stops right outside the campground. And I think for a week, the tickets, I think it only cost us like $7 or $8 for a week. I mean, it's just incredible. So, all right, maybe we'll, who is it? Oh, Marcia. Is that you, Marcia, that's going to Key West? Where are you going to be staying? But we like it because there's a lot of restaurants that are within walking distance. There's a Cuban restaurant that we absolutely love, and we usually will go to the pool and hang out there, and then my husband will walk over and get us a sandwich, and we split it because it's so daggone big and so delicious. I love it. We're actually going down the first week. We're staying in oh Lord, Palm Beach, Palm something. We stayed there before, and then we'll be 2 weeks in Key West, and then we're coming back and staying in another place on the way back, something Pelican something, I'm not sure. We've not been to that resort, so that'll be a new one. So, all right, well, it looks like everybody's coming on, so I was going to see, I know. Oh, you're staying in Big Pine. Oh, cool, so you'll be not too far. Yeah, we need to get together. I'll have to give you my phone number. Maybe we can hook up and meet or something. Okay, well, since everybody's coming on, let's go ahead and it's 7 after 2, so we're going to go ahead and start. So let me flip the camera down. And then this is the last week. I just wanted to tell you once more that you can, with a $50 order through my online store, and if you use my host code, then you will get a 28 tutorials from me, which is a collaboration that I'm doing with, obviously it's 28 other demonstrators. Now this changes from month to month, so I'm not sure how many that we're going to have in February, but for this month is good through, this tutorial is good for through the end of January. So if you're not working with a demonstrator and you want to place an order, or if you want to place an order with me, I would appreciate that. And if you spend $50 or more, not only do you get my free tutorial, but then you also get to pick something from the Celebration catalog. Okay. All right, so this is what have y'all seen No Name Key has the best pizza? Oh, really? Okay, so we're going to use these new butterflies and flowers layering decorative mask. I don't know if y'all have seen these are yet. It's on page 65 in the catalog. I'm telling you what, if you want to look like you know what you're doing, just use these masks. And they're only $10, and you get 6 of them. So I'm going to put this up here so y'all can see. It's on page 65 in your catalog, okay? Now, this one here is what we're going to use, and then we're going to use the butterfly. And then I've done a third card, which I'm not going to make, but I'll show you. I use this one, and then I use this one together, and I'll show you that one when we get done. But these are, you know, I've gotten masks before, but I've never really used them. And I know we got one time in one of our paper pumpkins. Do you think I used it? No. I am telling you what, I'm going to use these masks because you can do so much in the background with them. So let me just show you. All right, so you have this one are flowers, if you can see. Let me move this out of the way so you can kind of see through the paper. Okay. All right, so there's some flowers and leaves. So we're going to use this one in addition to the one that we're going to use for our flowers. Okay. And then the next one is like, they look like to me like little daisies or little petal flowers. I use this one. No, yes, this one we're using on the second card. And this one I haven't used yet, but this looks like, I don't know, lines or vines. I'm not quite sure what that is. Okay. And then this one I've used on the third card that I'll show you once we get done as a background. Isn't that pretty? You can walk from Big Pine to where Stock Island is? Oh, wow. Cool beans. All right, so there's that. And then this one is one of the ones that we're going to use this evening. This is the butterfly one. Okay. And then this is the flower one. Now this one, I've been playing with it, and I finally figured out how to do it with 2 different colors. And I'll show you that on the third card. But the first card, I'm just going to use this one with our blending brush, okay? All right, so let me go ahead and move these out of the way because the only ones that we need right now, we're going to need these 3. So I'm going to push these out of the way. Now, I do have paper towels on hand because we want to wipe away the ink. And then the stamp set that we're going to use, I'm just using the wording from the free Friendly Hello That's a celebration, okay? All right, so this is the first card that we're going to make, and I put pictures up. This is on polished pink cardstock. It's 8.5 by 5.5. Of course, it's scored. And then this is part of the free paper, celebration paper that comes with the Friendly Hello, that stamp set that I just showed you. So that's one of the papers. And then I'm using the contoured scallop, scallop contoured dies, and this is the next to the largest one. That's what I'm using there. And then, of course, the sentiment from that stamp set, and then I did the inside of the card as well. So that's what we're going to do. All right, so that's the first card, and let me show you the second one just so that you'll see it. This is the second one. This is using that one that looked like the little petals, and then we're doing the butterfly. And this one I fussy cut it out, so bear with me on that one. And so that will be our second card. This is a really easy one. Okay, so with that being said, let me roll up my sleeves and let's get started. I don't need that one. Now I'm going to use this mat to help me with my paper. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do, let me put my card off over there. All right, let me pull out my supplies. And then, hang on a minute, if I can get my sticky note. It's one of those sticky notes that has all the stuff on it. Okay, so this is what we're going to stamp our flowers on. And this is for our sentiment. This is for the inside of the card. And this is our designer paper. Now, this is from the same set, but somehow I must have used up all the stripes, but I thought this one will go fine. So it's going to go like that, and then we'll have our flower on top. So let me go ahead. Oh, Lord. Maybe I won't. I'll go ahead and fold it. I've got my paper trimmer on the other side of the room. So, hello. And those that are new, I'm just going to make a little quick introduction. I'm Dawn Duvall. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and I'm located in the Villages, Florida, which is in the central part of the state. And normally it's somewhat warm, but we're experiencing the cold chill like everybody else. So welcome to my Facebook Live. Okay, so again, polished pink, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. I'm going to go ahead. The designer paper is 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to go ahead and add that now. We'll just get that right out of the way. Give me 1 second so I can wipe the glue off of my thing. All right, so let's get that attached, and then we'll start blending because it can be a little bit messy, but you know, we just do the best we can, right? I had more ink on me than I can tell you what I had. All right, and I'm going to order some more blending brushes. I have 6, but I think I need a couple more. All right, so we're going to leave that like that. See the colors? Not quite as vibrant as the other one, but it still has all the same colors. So we're going to set this off to the side. All right, now, the first thing that we're going to do is we've got to get our, and we're going to do it this way. I'm going to stamp it this way because I'm doing the card horizontal. So we want to use our tape, and this is the labeling cover-up tape. It doesn't stick by Post-it note. So I'm going to stick this on the mat, and I am going to, bear with me a second because I'm using my rubber mat so it helps. That way if we get ink all over it. Okay, so I'm just going to lay this here where I think I want it to go, and I'm going to try to center it. So you can see, let me see if I can zoom in just a little bit. Hang on. Whoa, that'll get you a little bit too much. Hold on a minute. Okay. All right, so I'm going to put this tape on here because I want to hold this down. I don't want it to move. My paper is moving. I don't have this tucked down either. All right, so we're going to tape this down. All right, and then one of the other things, learn by, do as I say, not as I do. All right, we're going to tape this down. Now, one of the things you want to be careful of is when you start blending, it might seep under here and get out. So I'm holding my finger there, but you can put some tape down too to help maybe secure it. So I'm just going to do that to see if that helps to hold that down. But I'm going to use my fingers anyways. Okay, I've got, I don't know if y'all have seen this. I've got this, I'm going to show you. I got this from Stampin' Storage. This is what I've got and it's going to come apart because you have to put it together. This is what I'm using to hold my blends in. So it works pretty well. Okay, so I'm going to pull out my pink blend for now because we're going to use polished pink. All right, so let's get started. Now, how many of you, go ahead and respond to me, how many of you have done these masks before? How many of y'all have used masks? Because you know you can also use them with that, the pasty stuff. So there's all sorts of ways that you can use it. So let me know if you all have done masking before. I'm curious. All right, so I'm talking while I'm trying to open, as I just stick my finger in the ink. All right, so I'm opening up my polished pink. And I'm going to get let me move my paper so I don't get ink on that. Southern Indian is supposed to be 0 here. Ooh. Oh, thank you so much. I was just talking about it being cold here. It's like, well, we got up, it was 40. Yesterday it was 30 some degrees, which I know it's not compared to what you all have, and I'm very sorry that you are in that cold weather. Come and visit. Okay. So now I've got everything taped on here, and again, I'm going to hold down on the sides here because I don't want it to go out on this on the card. If it does, you know, I'm not going to worry about it. I'll just figure out a way to we'll just figure out a way to hide it. Okay, so what I'm going to do, and most of you probably already know this, is I'm going to take my blend and I'm just going to start off just a little bit here because I don't want to push it down and then it gets this big splotch. All right, so I'm just going to start, and I'm going to start blending. And you can just blend as much or as little as you want. I'm holding my finger down because I don't want it to come outside of my edges. So for right now, I'm just going to go with it being light, but I really want to make it darker. All right, so let me tap. I'm going to tap my ink pad, which is, you can probably hardly see it. So again, I'm holding my hand here because I don't want my ink to bleed out. So I'm going to get these a little bit darker. And then I'm going to come over here and do this one. This is I really love this. Wait till you see the one that I did that I used 2 colors. I had to try to figure that one out. That was a little, you know, for me because I've not done this before. So it was a little bit of a challenge. All right. And that's pretty easy. I mean, when I did it last night, I had ink everywhere. All right. So I think that's probably good. I just want to leave it like that. So now I'm going to pull off my mask. Isn't that pretty? Okay. So now the first thing I want to do, I'm going to take off my little pieces of paper, my stuff here, because we're going to use it on the next mask. All right, hang on a minute. Now I'm going to wipe. Well, we're not using this again, so it's okay. I'm going to set this off to the side, but if I was going to use it or twist it around, then we would clean it. So we're just going to lay that off to the side. Now, we're going to bring in soft succulent. Excuse me. And I'm just going to hang my pink up, and I'll wash these out. I wash them in warm water, squeeze them out, and then I just lay them to dry. And then I'm pulling in the soft succulent, and we're going to make some leaves coming out of our design. Now, if you notice, you probably don't see it, but I see it right now, which I'm not going to worry about it. Right here, can you see a little bit of pink ink? Somehow I must have moved and got ink right there, but I'm not worrying about it. Hopefully it will blend. Nobody will notice it. Okay, now we're going to come in with this one. Now these are, let me move this out of the way. These, oh, you can't see it. Hold on. All right, so this is different types of leaves, okay? All right, so I'm going to use a couple of these and a couple of those. All right, so I'm going to lay this down. Now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this in place. So I'm going to figure out which ones that I want. So I'm going to go with these 3 to start with. And what you want to do is you want to get them where it's just covering the edge of your flower. You don't want it too far over because you want to make sure that the leaf looks like it's coming out of the back of your flower, right? So I'm going to do those 3 right there. So again, I'm just going to put some ink on my blender. I'm going to wipe some off because I don't want so much. Now this is where I'm going to put some tape here to hold it down. So let me do that first. All right, let me put some over here too. And we're going to put some, and I'm going to have to pull it up, so I don't want to put too much, but I want to hold it right here because I don't want my ink, I don't want it to kind of move out. Okay, so hopefully that will hold it down too. All right, so I'm going to take my blending brush, and I have to be careful because I don't want to do that, right? I don't want to cover that up. So I am going to cheat, and I'm going to put a piece of white right there. That way, if I happen to get wild with my brush and blend, I won't get it on my flower. So I'm just going to blend And you can use, I did use Evening Evergreen on the other one that I did earlier that I showed you all, but I didn't think that was necessary. I was trying to give it some different coloring. So I'm just going to do it like that. Okay, now I'm going to lift this up. All right, now see what that looks like? Isn't that pretty? All right, so now I'm going to take this. I'm going to wipe it off because I'm going to move this. And we're going to take and I'm going to do, let me think about this. Let's do these two guys right here. So I'm going to put them, and then I'll come back and do some more leaves. So let's do this one. Let me see. He's going there. Let's put this one right here. So let's do this one. All right, so he's going to partially hang over, but that's okay. It's no big deal. All right, so we're going to do that. So let's take our mask. No, looked at masks, but haven't tried them yet. Oh my goodness, you have to because they're only $10. It's well worth it. Do it, do it, do it. You're going to love them. I'm hooked on them. I'm thinking you can make so many nice, not that we don't have enough paper, right? Designer paper, but you can make some really nice background paper. And I'll show you on the card that I did. I'm not going to do it tonight, but I'll show you that one, what it looks like. You can make your own background paper. So, no masking for me. Yeah, you definitely want to look at doing some. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start right here. And I'm just going to, I'm going to add some more ink. So let me just tap that off and then I'm going to color. And you know, again, how much color you add. Whoops, now see, I got a little happy and I went off onto my little scallop. So you got to be careful. All right. This one's fine because that's part of my leaf. And no one's going to know the difference, but you have to be careful. I did use some sponge daubers, so if you don't have the blending brushes, you can use your sponge daubers. And I used, I had some that were packaged, and they've been sitting in my cabinet probably for, I don't know, I hate to say a year, because I got a whole box of them, that they started disintegrating, so that wasn't very good. All right, so see how I got some ink right there? Right on the edge, so you have to be careful, but I'm not going to let that bother me. I'm gonna let it go because you know what, it's a card and hopefully it's just, that's the way it is. All right, so let me wipe this off again and let's do another leaf. And I think I'm going to come over here and let's do let's just do a single. Let's do this little guy. It looks like to me that looks like a whale fin or a boat mast. And see that the crease right there? Let me move in a little bit. Let me see if I can zoom in some without going too crazy. Okay, I am going to put that right in there so it looks like it's coming out of the flower at an angle. And I'm just going to take this and lightly do some rubbing. Get some ink on that and just try to keep it in the area so I don't go off my grid. Don't want to go off the grid. All right, this one's going to be a little bit darker. All right, so we got that. See, now I could have come down. Look at that. Ugh, I got ink in there because I didn't pay attention. But it's going to have to do. All right, let's see. Do we want any more? I think that might be okay. Let me see how I do the other one. Oh, the other one I put the little leafy things. All right, we could. Do we want a leaf down here? No, I don't think so. I think we need something over here. That looks kind of funky. Let's see. Let me wipe this off so we don't have any ink that's going to transfer. Let me do that real quick. And then I just run these underneath the sink. I just lay them out and dry them off. There we go. Get that ink off there because I had ink. Let's do one of these little ones. Let's do one. I'm going to do one right here. This little one right here. Since we don't have one over on this side. So let's put him right here. Might be a little much, but let's go ahead and do that. All right, so let's hold this in place. Let me get my tape. I'm going to tape this down. See if I can stop getting ink all over my daggone. So that's why you probably want to put your tape around the edges so you don't get that on your paper. All right, so I'm just going to hold this and just give it a little bit of ink. And this one I'm going to probably do a little bit lighter. And I'm just going to kind of tap it in there. This would be a little bit lighter. All right, so let's see what that does. I think that looks, that looks good. Isn't that pretty? So, all right, so I have a couple of boo-boos, but you know what? It's okay. We're not going to fret about that one. I still think we probably need something down here, but I'm not quite sure what. So I don't really like these 3 right here. I probably should have just done 2 and then maybe put another one of those down here, but that's okay. We're going to go with this, all right? So we're going to go ahead. Let me close up my ink. This obviously is not taking as long. It took me forever last night to do this. I mean, yesterday afternoon, but I guess I've gotten the hang of it. That's probably why it's not taking that long. Okay. All right, so far it's pretty easy, but you got to make sure you cover up so you don't have your, get your ink in places that you don't want it, right? All right, so let me just toss this. Okay, so we're going to go with this. So, you know what? I forgot. We got to do our inside of our card. I forgot the inside of our card. We've got to do that. So let me bring my other mask back in. I forgot all about that. Okay, so this is the one that we used. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this down here at an angle, and some of it may not be on there, which is okay. I'm going to leave it right about, I'm going to try to get this flower right down into the corner, and maybe, let me move this over a little bit, and get it to where maybe it hangs off just a tad. So I think I'm going to leave it like that. So let's get some tape. I forgot we have to do this. I was thinking this is taking really not very long. All right, so we're going to tape this up again. All right, so we want to hold on to everything. Now this is the inside of our card. So let's put some more tape right here. And then we'll put a piece right here. And, oh, wait a minute. Hang on a minute. That's too, hang on, hold on. Hold up. I got too many of my flowers are coming off. I don't want it all there. We need to turn it like this. I want some of those. There we go. We'll do it like, a little bit like that. Okay. I wanted to get a little bit more of the flower in the corner. Okay, so let's see if we can do this without, let me get my ink out again. We're going to do with the pink. I should have done a different color. All right, so we're going to get our pink back out, and we're going to do some quick brushing. Now, one thing, I'm going to stick this under here because my craft mat's under there, or silicone mat, so I don't forget to wipe it off. All right, so let's go ahead and get these blended. And this one I'm just going to do lightly. I'm not going to make it real dark because it's obviously on the inside of the card. So we're just going to rub this in here. And if you don't rub them all, it's okay because it just gives it the effect, you know. All right, so we're just going to do a little bit like that. We'll put a little bit there. And that'll be the inside of our card. Let me get the backs. There we go. And then you can always try to make the centers a little bit darker. All right, so there it is, nice and light. So see the difference between the two? All right, so that's going to go on the inside of our card. Let me wipe that off just in case we have ink here. And let's wipe this off. Okay. All right, so now we can finish up our card. Okay, so I am going to attach this. Let's do that inside of the card first. Let's get this out of the way just in case. Knowing me, I'll have ink all over everything. All right, so I'm just going to use my multi-purpose glue, my favorite. You should have seen my hands today. I'm working on this order, and oh my God, I had ink, and it's drying on my hands. It was driving me crazy. So I had to wash my hands. I can't tell you how many times today. All right, so we're going to lay this in here. This is 4 by 5 1/4. And let's get that in here so we can get it even. All right, so there's our inside. So we can write our nice, pretty little message. Isn't that cute? All right, now the top here, we're going to put dimensionals on the back. And then we're going to add some jewels to the front. So let's go ahead. I'm going to put dimensionals on the back. Put one in the center just to make sure he's happy. Not going to fall down. I'm telling you, you can really knock out some nice cards with these masks. Now I'm kicking myself for not using them more often. All right, so let's, I think I like it like that. All right, so let's go ahead and lay this on here. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put this up a little bit higher because I am going to hide my mistake and no one's going to know the difference. So let's put it like that. And I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to hide that with my sentiment. All right, so we're going to do our sentiment. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make it a happy birthday. And let me find my paper. Here it is. Hang on one second. Let me grab it. Hold on. Sorry. Can't pick anything up. I went and had my nails done. He cut them all off, so now I can't see. I can't, let me make sure this is going to fit. Yep. Now I can't pick anything up, but that's okay. All right, so we're going to do the polished pink as well for our sentiment. And I am going to stamp that right about here. All right, perfecto for that one. Now we can close those up and get those out of the way. Okay, and now what we're going to do is I'm just going to take my paper snips and snip this off. Hopefully I can cut it straight. I'll do it in one good swoop. All right. And then we're going to put some dimensionals on the back of this as well. And we're going to use this to hide our little mistake right there. And that way, no one's going to know the difference. All right, so we're going to take that and we're going to lay that right over. Let me make sure, is that straight? Yep. Look at that. Okay, so the last thing that we need to do is I've got some of the in color jewels and I just happen to have 4 little pink ones left. So we're going to put those in the center of these flowers. And put one there. And put one right there. And put one right there. Now you could always, I could have put a green in the center, but I like the pink. All right, so what do y'all think about that? Isn't that pretty? Oops, let me zoom out a little bit so y'all can see. Sorry about that. What do you think? Now, see, this one's much darker than on this one. So it all depends on, the difference. And then when they open it up, they're going to go, oh my gosh, look at that. She did it on the inside. Isn't that beautiful? So easy. So there you go. There's a quick card for you. We'll be back and catch beginning. Okay, that's all right. You're late. You just missed the first card. This is what we're doing. I know, isn't that pretty? I'm telling you, these mask guys, you're just going to fall in love with them. And for $10, my gosh, you can afford that, right? Or if you place an order big enough, then use your Stampin' Rewards to get points for those. Get them for free. Okay, so now that is done. So let's move over to the next card. And let me pull that one out. Give me just one second here. Let me pull my tapes off of these masks. So hang on a minute. I'm getting organized. All right, you know what? We might be done early this evening, everyone. Okay, so this one we're going to do is we're going to do the butterfly card. Okay, so we're using Bermuda Bay. And I'm using Daffodil Delight, and this is 4 by 5 1/4. And then, oh, you know what? I need a scrap. Hang on, I got to give me a scrap piece of paper. There we go. And then we've got a piece that is 4 by 3. Hang on a minute. It's 4 by, I want to say it's 3. Hang on. Where's my measuring tape? Hold on. Oh, it's right here. Hang on. It is, let me see. I know it's 4 inches by, it's 4 3/4 by 4. Okay, and so we're not, it's going to go from side to side, but it's going to just leave a little bit right here. So we're going to mask this, and we're going to use crushed curry for this. And then we're going to stamp our butterfly on here in color and blend it, and then I'm going to cut it out. All right, so this is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 Bermuda Bay. And I'm folding it in half because my paper trimmer is on the other side of the room, and I'm not going to get up tonight from the table. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it without. I'm going to make sure my ends are lined up, and then I'm just going to give it a good burnish. All right. And then there is our card base. And we'll go ahead and, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to add that last. Okay. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to do our blending on this piece right here. So let me bring in my mat for this thing, and then that's all got glue. I tell you what, I had so much glue on this silicone, well, one of my silicone mats. I have like 3 of them. All right, so we're going to bring in the, where did my mat go? Hang on. Oh, I put it away. What the world was I thinking? Where? No, I didn't. Hold on. Where is my, oh, no, where'd it go? My flowers. Oh, here they are, right in front of me. Okay, so we're doing these little, I think they're daisies, and I thought that would be cute. And I may try it and see what it looks like, is do a background like this, and then I think our daisy punch, I'm not sure if it's still valid or not, but use that and punch out white daisies and make a yellow circle for the inside. All right, so we're going to line this up. Now this is nice because this thing goes wider than our card base, so that way I don't have to worry about screwing things up. All right, so we're going to lay that there. And we're going to tape this down. As soon as I find my tape, I must have thrown, oh, I think I threw them all away. All right, hang on. Here it is. We'll just use some fresh tape. All right, so we're going to tape this down. And the silicone mat's good too, because if you don't want to mess up your work surface, it will put ink on there. Just pick it up and move it before you start using it again, because you'll need to wash it. All right. And this is nice because it's given me room that I can put my tape here and not interfere with the coloring of my card. This side I have to be careful because it's right on the edge. All right, and then we're going to put some tape down here, just on the corners to hold it, because I might get a little excited when I start coloring. So, and then we'll put that right there. All right, so let me grab, let me see, what is this one? I'll go with this one. It looks like it had yellow on it before. Now, this is a little buckled up, so I'm going to hold it down with my hands. And I'm using crushed curry, so it's going to be a little bit darker. And this is one of our older ones, crushed curries. All right, so let's start blending. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. All right. So here we go. We're going to just blend. And this is easy because we can just, and this one, you can make it like ombre effect if you want to have it light and dark. Now see, you can see where I started. It started really dark. But I'm just going to go back over it. And I kind of like the little bit darker. Let me wipe some of that off. And then we'll come down here so it will come out looking a little bit darker too. So it'll look like I did that on purpose. All right. So we're just going to keep blending. And just wipe some of that off. And let me hold that down there. Isn't this fun? I mean, look how easy this is. It's just amazing. So I got to hold it because this thing will shift a little bit. So that's why my fingers look like they're trying to be a contortionist. So I can see it moving just a little bit. All right, so let me put my finger here and get a little bit more ink. And I'm going to come over on this side just to give it a little bit more. All right, I think that's probably good. And you can keep blending as dark as you want it, right? So let's close this up because I think I'm done with the yellow. I think I am. All right, so let's pull off our mask. Now look at that. Isn't that cute? Now see, I could have done this a little bit darker, but that's okay. I kind of like that. Let me pull my tapes off. No, I need to use those tapes. All right, hang on. Let me put this over here because it's got ink all over it. All right, so we have that. Now we're going to do our butterflies. I'm going to set this, this will go on here like that. Okay, so we'll wait and put that together in just a minute. Let me put my yellow over there and let me pull in my one for Bermuda. All right, so now we're going to bring in a scrap because this is one, again, we're going to end up cutting it out. Let me just wipe this off. Not that it matters because it's going to be on the back. All right. So we're going to stamp. Well, it's not stamping. We're going to blend. Let me do it this way because I've got, this is a scratch piece of paper because we're going to cut it out. Let me get it situated so y'all can see. I know, aren't they amazing? Page 65 in the new mini catalog, $10. It's on the right-hand side of the page at the top. All right, so all I'm going to do first is color the background of the butterfly. Now, you can color the inside. Now, I'm going to do black because I really wasn't sure what kind of colors to do. I mean, I guess I could have done and I'll show you that butterfly, the insert. I guess I could have done like these two the same color, or these two the same color and this a different color, but I just did it black. So I'm going to do that today. I'm just going to tape this on here, and I'm going to fussy cut this out. So I just want to get it taped down so I don't, yeah, just so it doesn't slide. And then we'll, all right, so this one I'm going to do the background in Bermuda Bay, and I'm going to make this one a lot, I think I'm going to do it darker than I did the one previously. All right, so we're going to get our thing inked up. Got lots of ink on here, and I'm just going to kind of wipe a little bit off, and then I'm just going to, give me a second, let me move this so I can turn my hands. All right, and I'm just going to start coloring, right? And I don't care if it goes outside of the lines because we're going to cut this out. I'm just going to fussy cut it. So I'm going to make this a little bit darker than I did on the first one, but I do want to keep my mask down because I want my butterfly to at least get the butterfly shape, right? Because you got to be careful because you get excited and start moving and everything, and all of a sudden he's so look how easy that is, right? All right, look at that. Okay, this doesn't matter because we're going to cut it. Now we're going to move this right here. Now see his body, that's part of his body right there. Do y'all see that? Right there is the body of the butterfly. So we're going to lay him on here, get his body positioned. Let me pull this down so my head doesn't get in the way. Give me 1 second so I can look at it. I think that looks good, right about like that. Okay, so now we're going to color that. I'm going to do it black just like I did before. I guess I could do a different color, couldn't I? Well, the only colors I have with me are going to be black, pink, and green, so I think I'll just go with the black. We'll stick with black. All right, and let's just push this one here, and then we'll cut him out. All right, so we're done with our Bermuda Bay for now. Well, we will use that again in a minute. And now we're going to do the black, so we're going to bring in our memento, and I will use, I guess I'll use this one. All right, so I'm just going to ink this up. Get this guy out of the way. And again, I'm just going to tap some of that off, and I'm just going to come in and, oops, let me move my holes right here because that's going to get, I got to get those, whoops, hang on, good thing I didn't start. Hang on a minute, I got to get my holes lined up so they all go on the butterfly and get his body straight. Okay, I think we're good there. All right, give me a second here. All right, let's get everybody down. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm going to come in with my black, and we're just going to do a little bit of inking. And I know black sound, whoops, see, now my paper's started to move. Hang on. That's why you got to be careful. Hold on, let me get it lined back up. Let me get some other, hold on a minute. So this is not wanting to stick tight. Probably because I've used them before and they're not wanting to stick. So let me grab some more, because we don't want it to move. So we're going to put him right there. Okay, so some of this is going to be probably a little bit darker than what I want because I really just wanted to go lightly over it. That one I think I got too dark, but it's okay. And we'll just come down here and put some on here and some on here. Now these things lift up too on the mask. See how those lift up? So just be careful like with that because if you're coloring and you may lift it up, you know, not realizing it. I need to get a little bit more black ink. I just want to make sure we get the dots on the outsides of these butterflies. Now he's probably going to be a little bit too dark, I think, right on this one side, but we're going to go with it and see what it looks like. Why not, right? We have to experiment, and y'all get to watch me experiment. Oh, that one looks really pretty. Oh, I like it much darker. That looks really pretty. Okay, so let me set this off to the side and cover this up. Now I'm going to cut this out, so bear with me while you watch me cut this thing, and then we'll be done in just a few minutes, and then I'll show you the other card that I did using part of the mask. And then I'm going to show you something else that you can do once we cut this out, because you know how you get the white edges of the paper? We're going to use our blend and hopefully try to color, I'm trying to see with that, color the edges so they don't look so stark white. You like the dark? I do too. I like the dark one much better than the lighter one. And this is one of my favorite colors too. I love greens and teal, and this is, let me cut this here because this is too big. These are my favorite colors. I was using just jade on this one order that I'm doing, and oh my goodness, I forgot all about that. You know, and that color is going to go away this year, right? And that's one of my favorite colors as well. So, but you know, every year I say I love my colors, and they take it away, and then they come out with another color. I'm like, oh, I like that color, and that becomes my favorite color. You know, so it's just, that's what it is. Now this isn't. I'm not leaving a white border because I really just wanted the butterfly without the white border. Typically they say when you fussy cut you should leave a little bit of a white, but I don't want any white showing. That's why I'm cutting it right close to the butterfly, because I want to get it, I don't want to have any of this white showing. And then I'm going to go back and adjust, let me get that out of my way. Then I'm going to adjust the edges with the blending brush so that we can cover up the edges of the white cardstock. All right, so I'm almost done. So just be patient with me. Just be patient. You get to watch me cut. Isn't this exciting? So we'll cut this. Almost done. I don't want to snip off his little things. Get these things out of my way. I don't like when there's a lot of paper in my way because it really bothers me. All right, I'm going to come back and do the inside of his antenna. I'm going to come around this way, and we'll trim this off. Well, I hope y'all get some warmer temperatures sometime here soon. All right, and then I'm going to come in and trim off around the antenna, and hopefully I can get it where it looks fine. So we're just going to cut that little guy off, and then we're going to come in, whoopsie, I'm going to come in on this side just a little bit. I don't want to come too close because I don't want to, so we may have a little bit of white right there. Hang on. And then we're going to cut on the inside. So I'm just going to come down and then come down here, and then I'm going to take the brush and we're going to try to hide the white. Okay. All right, so there's our butterfly, and you can see some of the edges right here. So I'm just going to take my brush here because I've got the ink on it, and I'm just going to kind of, you know, like with your blending or with your, you know, your sponges, I'm just going to try to come in here and try to hide some of that white with the brush. Okay? All right, so there's a butterfly, and we can still see, hang on a minute, that little piece right there is going to bug me. See if I can get some ink on him. Yeah, that's okay. It won't be seen. No one's going to be looking at that. They're going to be looking at how beautiful this card is. Let's move this out of the way so I don't get ink on it. All right, so let's go ahead and put this guy together. So I'm going to go ahead and attach this. And this is going to cover side to side, but it's going to leave probably, I don't know, is about 1/4 of an inch maybe, or 1/2 inch? Not 1/2 inch. I think it's going to be about, maybe, yeah, it's going to be about 1/4 of an inch from the top and the bottom. Yeah, it's probably about right. And then again, I did this in Cajun Craze, and this is Daffodil Delight. All right, and we're going to move that up just a little bit so it looks like it's even. I've got too much down here. Hang on a minute. Let me pull him up. All right, hang on. Got to adjust him. I had it too low. There we go. I think that's going to be better. Get that over there. See, once you pull him up, hang on a minute. He's not going to get my edges lined up. There we go. And then bring him up. Hang on. I keep putting and I'm not that much of a perfectionist. I just want it so the top and the bottom is somewhat, there we go. There we go. All right, there we go. Ah. All right, and then we're going to take this and add this to our card base. All right, and get some of that on here. Let's throw that down there. All right, so that's going to go on our base of our card. I love these colors. It's very springy. All right, so there's that. And then this butterfly. Now we can, you know, if we want to maybe curl up his wings a little bit, we can just do that with our bone folder, right? You know, obviously it's going to get flattened when you put him in the card to mail, but that's okay. And I'm going to put dimensionals on him. So let's go ahead and get that done. All right. So, Marcia, if you're on here, you need to either email me or message me, and we can try to get together sometime in Key West, because we're going to be there for 2 weeks. So, you know, we can hook up and have dinner, drinks, whatever. Okay, so here we go. We're going to take off the backings of our... All right, and we're going to put him, let's put him this way on this card. Okay, now, you know, we could probably put some little bling bling on it if we wanted. All right, so I have him going that way. Now, I didn't do anything for the inside of the card, but we are going to stamp our sentiment, and we're going to use the Bermuda Bay ink for that as well. And I'm using the same one. I'm just creating this exactly like I did the other one. All right, so we're going to stamp this, and we're going to punch this out. And I know there's my punch. Let me see which way it's going to go. So I need it to go this, no, I'm looking at my punch. All right, so we're going to, let me stamp this right here in the center, and then we're going to punch it out with the Label Me Fancy punch, okay? All right. Look at that. We're going to be almost on time. We might be a little bit early. I'm going to show you my other card too, so don't go anywhere. All right, so we're going to punch this out in here. And let me get it. I didn't make it long enough, so let me just make sure I've got it in here. Let me tap it around. All right, I think that looks pretty good centered. So let's pop him out. Okay. And we'll put dimensionals on this one as well. All right, so let's put this one over here. Now let's do it at an angle too. Why not? We'll put it up there a little bit. Now let's put it down here. Let's put it right there. How's that? All right, so there's that card. And here is our other card. Oh, I'm really late from Virginia. Who is that? You're late because we're almost done. You're going to have to watch the replay. All right, let me show you the one card that I did. So here's the other one that I did yesterday. And this is the one using the background. Remember this one here? This mask? All right, so I did the card base is Misty Moonlight. And then I did a piece of white at 4 by 5 1/4, and I used Misty Moonlight and that mask. Isn't that pretty? Now this one, okay, we colored. All right, I laid down this one first, okay, and I colored that in Calypso Coral, and then I came back and laid this one on top. Okay, so there you got this one and then this one. So this one I laid down first and did that in Calypso Coral, all right? Then I came back with this one and I covered it and did that one in Pale Papaya, which gives it that lighter shade right there. And then I used a Pear Pizzazz. But isn't that cute? And I did the same thing with the scallop, and I just turned this at an angle. And then I used our double circle punch and just stamped in Misty Moonlight, the sentiment. So what do y'all think about that one? Isn't that pretty? So you see how you can, oh, hey, Karen Jo, you're late. So sorry. So this is the one, another way that you can do it. So you can make your background, right, like that. And then this one we use I'm going to call it the petal flower background on this one. And then we did the butterfly. And then this one, we only used the lighter of the mask, which is that one. And this is found on page 65, Karen. And they're $10 and you get 6 of these masks. But aren't these really cute cards? So there you go. There's the cards. I'll show that one to you as well. There we go. Really easy. It's a great way. Let me come back on camera for just a second. What a great way that you can use these masks and make some quick, easy, really beautiful cards. You know, and it's all in whatever color schemes you want to put together. So I highly recommend that you all make this purchase for 10 buckarooskies, because you can make some really nice backgrounds. Let me flip back down so you can see the cards, and because you don't probably want to see my face. And there you go. It's called the butterfly. What did I say? Butterflies. I got to find my thing. Oh, here we go. Hang on. The Butterflies and Flowers Layering Decorative Mask on page 65 of the new mini catalog. And you get 6 of these different masks. So there you go. Hopefully you've learned something about using masks and blending brushes, or you can use your sponge daubers or a sponge, whatever, to do your blending. All right, so thank you everyone for watching. I really appreciate it. Those of you that are in the 0 or freezing cold weather, please try to stay warm. And I will see you all next Tuesday. Have a great week and a great weekend, and stay warm. Bye now.